There you are. Welcome to the call, everyone. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's the top of the hour, and I really want to kind of stay on time. I know we got a lot of great testimonials to share, and people are just having results, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, fantastic.
It's fun. It's fun. You know, it's hunting season up here, so I was out sitting on a hill by myself today, just me and my dog, and I got a phone call. And normally I don't take phone calls when I'm hunting, but I have to share this right away because I'll start the call with a testimonial.
Okay, great.
This is an awesome one. This is an awesome one, and I couldn't get her on live tonight because she's working, but we will get her on the call. We will get her on the call. So it was about 6 weeks ago. A friend of mine called, and she said, "Kurt, you got to help me. We have a friend that is suffering from a stage 4 situation. I'll just say stage 4 situation. I won't say what it is. You can figure it out from there. But because of everything that they were doing, all the chemo and all that stuff, her kidneys were failing. One had already quit working, and the other one was beginning to fail. And they had her on dialysis, and they were looking at removing the kidneys. That's how bad they were. And so I started her on Sisel Fucoydon. I got her doing 7 doses a day. So she's going through a bottle every week, because there's 30 doses. So she's going through a bottle every week, and I have her on Eternity, and she's going through a bottle every week, 7 doses a day of each of them. And then I have her taking a couple of other things that are, good. I don't know if you guys can get RSO oil down in Australia, but I have her taking RSO oil as well. It's a form of like CBD, but it's not really CBD, if you know what I mean. And but it falls in that same family, an endocannabinoid. And so 6 weeks she's been doing this. Fucoydon, as you know, if you followed any of my posts on Facebook, Fucoydon, as you know, is excellent for the kidneys. There's a lot of really good studies that show that Fucoydon is excellent for the kidneys. It also has some really good anti-cancer type of effect, and it's and we can't make any claims. I'm not making any claims. All I'm doing is talking about the research, and not the research on our product. It's research on just generic Fucoydon and generic resveratrol. And they're anti-angiogenic, which means that they cut off the blood supply to tumors. Anyhow, she called me today, and her doctor at the cancer center said, "Holy cow, your kidneys are working again." They took her. They not only did they cancel the surgery, but they took her off of dialysis.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
That is just brilliant. How exciting is that? Just shows you the power of nutrition. And that if you give the body what it needs, it can recover and bounce. And it's just a fantastic, absolutely delightful story to hear.
Yeah, just a quick 3-minute testimonial, and I'll get her on here someday to share her testimonial. Like I said, she was working today. And, I don't even know the lady. I've never met her before in my life. I lay the products out on the front step. She comes and picks them up when I'm gone. But I guess the other night I stopped for an adult beverage, and like I said, I wouldn't know her from a bale of hay, but I stopped and I grabbed a beer, and so my friend that is getting me to get the products for her said, "Oh yeah, she was working that night." I'm like, "Oh well, I met her and didn't even know that I met her." She didn't know. She didn't know who I was. I didn't know who she was. How's that for, how the world works? You can help people that you don't even know.
Yeah, that's incredible. What a great story, Dr. Kurt.
Yeah, I thought that would be a great way to start off tonight's call. And, Sisel products are so fantastic. I just want to say that, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been in the nutrition industry for over 40 years now, and working with people that have different kinds of problems. It doesn't have to be stage 4 situation. It could just be, hey, I got a headache, those kinds of things. And something simpler, or maybe somebody who maybe they don't have anything wrong. They just don't want to have anything wrong.
Yeah.
You know, you look at me. If you look at my family, longevity runs in my family. Before vitamins, we had people in our family living over 100 years old. If you look back at my family 100 years ago, there was people living 100 years back before it was a popular thing to do.
Wow.
You know, back before they were called super centurions, you know, and back before they were, you know, we were selling this anti-aging and this propaganda on longevity, you know. I mean, people, so the reason that I got into what I'm doing is because I realized that I have a pretty good chance of doing it, but because of the diet, because of the toxicity of our world today, I wanted to make sure that I get there in a healthy way. I don't want to, I don't want to just be 100 years old.
Yeah.
I want to be able to keep doing what I'm doing right now. I want to travel. I mean, there's a lot of places in the world that I want to see in the next 50 years that I haven't seen yet. And I want to have a lot of fun. So anyhow.
Definitely. Now, Dr. Kurt, did you hit the record button just in case?
You know, I will right now.
Excellent. And would you be able to bring Ian and Amy across?
Yeah, I'll bring Ian back on. And you said, and Amy too, there she is.
Yeah,
she wasn't there before.
Yeah.
So hopefully that testimonial was recorded on Facebook, but.
Yeah, we hope so.
Yeah.
It should be. It should be.
Amy, if you want to turn your camera on, and Ian, if you want to turn your camera on, then you'll be on the testimonial call with us. Welcome to the call, Ian. We lost you for a minute.
Yeah, no, I couldn't hear you. Could hear you, saw you speaking, but I couldn't hear you. So I just dropped off and joined again. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, glad to have you with us. And Amy, thanks for being with us. Oh, there you were there, but now you're gone.
Good.
That's fantastic. Okay. So maybe we might jump in with, hi, Amy. Thanks for jumping on. Perhaps should we start with Ian and then maybe we'll go to Amy?
Yep, sounds good.
All right. Ian, if you want to share with us your current testimonial, where are you? What's going on, and how have these super products helped you?
It's this one's a little bit more about the Sisel Silver, which I've been actually seeing some huge results. It's Marg has had bronchitis for the last 3 or 4 weeks and couldn't shake it. Didn't want to actually get, last time she had it, the doctors gave her steroids and goodness knows what, and they have a pretty interesting side effect. So fortunately my Sisel arrived, and so what I did is I started her on Sisel, the micronized Sisel. But how I started it was I gave her a nebulized form, 15 minutes twice a day, and this went on for 2 days. We saw some very interesting results, and then from then on it was giving her 10 mils a day, 3 times a day, for about 3 or 4 days. And believe it or not, she doesn't have any coughing anymore, has no symptoms, and is really looking very well. So I was really blown away with the fact is that we didn't have to get prednisolone, we didn't have to get any antibiotics, and the fact is she's looking really good. So that's my little testimony on the Silver at the moment. So I'm very impressed. Lost sound again.
Oh, there we go. That's fantastic, Ian. What a great testimonial. So how many times a day was she, and how much silver was she getting?
The silver per day, and she's still taking it because we've dropped it back to teaspoon twice a day, but she was doing, I bumped it up to 10 mils 3 times a day, because from what I've read and from what I've heard, and even I think Kurt's friend Harold, is it Harold? He was saying that when you have symptoms, you bump it up a little. So anyway, we did that. And I think the initial effect was to nebulize it because bronchitis ends up on the lungs. So, and that was one of the things that I was really, because she's prone for pneumonia. And so we nipped that pretty quickly. Now, as we say, we can't say this cures or whatever else, but I think the body used it very interesting way to alleviate her symptoms. So, but the rest of the time now is back to 5 mils twice a day, and we're doing well. Yeah, it's
Fantastic.
great. I do it myself. I take it myself as a precaution. I don't have any real symptoms, but it's an insurance policy for me. So
Great.
to keep my system going, keep the bugs and pathogens, viruses, and whatever else, bacteria that want to attack. So helps the body to defend itself.
It's just such a great story. And I thought I'd just add in this comment here, because I still get quite a few people saying to me, oh yeah, I'm already taking silver. I'm taking a micronized form of silver, which of course there's a big difference between the Sisel Silver and the traditional colloidal micronized silver, because we've got the AG404 silver, which has a special coating around it, which enables that silver to be excreted from the body on a daily basis in the urine, whereas the traditional silver, colloidal micronized silver that people have typically been using without the AG404 can store up in the tissues, and it can also interfere with the good bacteria in the gut. So it's quite a different product, really. It's not the same, and I still think people don't really realize that.
No, I think that's absolutely correct, because I think I mentioned it before on one of your calls that from what I've read and some of the science that I've read is that the micronized silver, the way it's constructed in a biophysics way, is that the bugs, the good bugs in there, like acidophilus, have a very special coating, which this particular Sisel doesn't attack. So, but it does attack the bad bugs because they have a different coating. So that's why it's safe in the gut, and that you can ingest this without having to worry about your biome. So the other thing too is that what I found is that the micronized silver enters the body and leaves the same. So it's as effective as it went in, because the interesting thing about it is that it actually obviously goes through the liver and kidneys, and then it goes through the urinary situation. It's still as active going through that right through to the end. So you're giving the body some protection even in that area. So it is active from go to woe. So I think
Fantastic.
It's an amazing product.
Wow, incredible.
It's one of the revolution ones that I've seen. I've been involved with the oil company and this company, so quite a number of years, probably 30 years altogether. And this product, accompanied with a few other products which I love, which is Spectramax, which is really important. You should be taking that as well for the antioxidant properties and the minerals and the vitamins. So those two things are the minimum that you'd need to take with this product, in my opinion. So
fantastic. Yeah. That's great. Thank you for sharing that today, Ian.
My pleasure.
Great. All right. So we'll jump over to Amy. If you want to unmute yourself, Amy, and share your testimonial, that'd be great.
Hi, everyone. This is my first time doing this thing, so it's kind of scary.
You're doing good.
So I just sent my testimony through last week, and mine was about the double dose of the age pill. So I just shared that when I started the age pill, probably like a year and a bit ago, I know, I guess I'll share first the changes I found just on a normal dose. So on like 3 in the morning and 3 in the evening. I found, when I think about it, like changes are that I used to have a chair in the kitchen, and like I would just sit down in the kitchen a lot, and then I realized I wasn't doing that anymore. Like I moved the chair back into the dining room, and I would move into the dining room to have food and read and whatever. Also, I was going through like a really hard time at that time and was pretty unmotivated. And I just found that like it just really helped me on a daily basis with everything that's associated with what happens when you're not very motivated. Started going for walks and just lots of different things was really good. What else? Also, I shared in my testimony that at that point I'd been taking products from the former company, and it helped me a lot. It helped me because my story, I've got a pretty big health story, I've been chronically sick for 14 years. I had major like complications, like a huge array of different things that were wrong. To put it in a nutshell, I fell off a horse. I was knocked unconscious. My atlas was out of alignment for 13 years and nobody found it. So undiagnosed, misdiagnosed.
You sure?
I also had Q fever, and I had the post-Q fever chronic fatigue syndrome that was like more than 10 years. So that was really severe. I also had severe jaw dysfunction from braces, and then my jaw being whacked when I fell off the horse. Then my wisdom teeth came out, and I had infections in my jawbone that I didn't know about for a few years. So just had a major amount of things that have been going wrong. Like any one of those things on their own is pretty major. So yeah, that was pretty serious. And I found the form of products and nutrition helped me more than food and diet and all that stuff, which I was trying to do. But then I just started getting annoyed because I got to a point where I couldn't get any better, which is very frustrating because I spent lots of money and time and effort expecting to get a result and just didn't kind of get the result that I wanted, and was pretty discouraged. I shared in my testimony that I was when I heard about Sisel, I was kind of skeptical because I was just sick of not getting what I wanted. Like, sure, I'd gotten better, so that was good, but I just couldn't get where I wanted to be. And I nearly didn't try it, mainly because I was just so sick of everything. And but I thought, okay, I'll give it a go. So I did.
Okay,
so that's when I started having more functionality, because I just only used to work 2 days a week and couldn't really do much. So that was really cool.
So you went from 3 morning and night to what were you taking, 4, 4 and 4?
6. I went to 6 actually. So 6 in the morning, 6 in the evening. So like on the 3 in the morning, 3 in the evening, I got results I'd never got before. I just sort of slowly started getting better in every way. It's really good. And then this year, actually I was made redundant from my work, and I had that time the double dose challenge came along. So I thought, okay, I'll give it a go. And for me, it was perfect timing. I would even say it was God timing, because I sort of needed to figure out what I was going to do when I was only at a 2 days per week capacity for work. So I started it, and I'd actually gotten unwell. Like, I'd started tutoring because I'm a qualified teacher, and I actually couldn't do the tutoring, the holiday program, because I got unwell. And I thought I'd miss the first week of the school because I was unwell. And then on the double dose, I just started getting better really quickly. So I was like just really amazed, and like I was able to teach, I think, 2 days in the first week of the term. So I thought I'd miss that completely. So I was able to teach for 2 days. And then after that, I thought, I'll just do a few days a week for relief teaching. I'll see how that goes. So up until this point, I've never worked a full week in my life. So I've just always been sick and always just worked part-time and been sick and struggled, and it's just been a bit of a difficult journey. So then and I would have also been pretty apprehensive about like testing my limits, because I'm very conscious I don't want to push myself too much to end up where I'm really wiped out again and I can't do anything. Then with the double dose, though, I was offered to work for a full week for a contract for teaching the following week. And like normally I would have been too scared to do that, because I wouldn't have wanted to push myself too far, because I know that normally when I push myself too far, I just get really tired. But then like I just found that there was just a real shift in the way I was thinking about things, and I really think that's the double dose of the age pill.
Love it.
Because I just sort of, rather than, I didn't for a moment think, oh, I can't do it. Like, oh, I've got to be careful. I've got major health issues. I can't push myself too far. Don't want to get wiped out for 2 weeks and miss 2 weeks of school. Like, I just said, I'll give it a go. And I just thought I'll take the opportunities that I'm given and see how I go. Like I got through the first week, which was just a huge achievement, because I've never worked 5 days in my whole life, just always been sick. So that was really awesome, and it was a struggle. Like, it wasn't easy, but just I sort of rejoice in the fact that I could actually still manage, even though it was a struggle. So even though it was kind of half an hour at a time, I would honestly just make it through the day, like half an hour at a time, one session at a time, to the next break, and then lunchtime, and then home time. And just being able to do that and not sort of totally crash, because before I would have totally crashed. So that was really cool.
Fantastic.
I found it quite funny, because I thought, I'll just have a rest, I'll just give it a go and have a rest. And then I just kept on getting offered contracts. One for the 5 days, and then the next one was for they asked me to come back for the next week. And then I think I had a 2 days. And then, yeah, they asked me to come back for 2 days. And then someone else asked me to come for 3 days. And that was like 3 weeks in a row full time. I've never done it in my whole life.
Wow.
So that was just really super for me. Like, yeah, because you can imagine, like, because I graduated, I got sick when I was very close to graduating. So I never worked in my field because I was always, couldn't manage it. I was always too sick. Yeah, so it was just really cool. And
Fantastic.
I think now I've worked a whole term where I managed roughly 4 days a week. And then instead of being totally exhausted on the holidays, I actually went away like interstate, like traveled 6 hours in a plane and saw my brother.
Oh, wow.
Wouldn't have done that before, would have been exhausted, just would have, you know, laid in bed for a whole 2 weeks for holidays and then tried to muster up enough energy to get going for the next term. But like I fully traveled in the holidays and then started the next term. So now I've worked nearly a month, maybe 5 weeks. Can't quite remember how long it's been, but yeah, again, like done mainly full time since school's gone back. That's just awesome. Like, it's just,
fantastic.
you can imagine how scary it is to like have to be sick and be made redundant, have to find a new job, and then have to be able to manage that as well. And for this to come along at the right time, it's just, I think, giving me the energy to do all of that. So yeah, I do think that's probably the age pill double dose.
Wow, fantastic! What a great story, Amy.
It's fun to hear your excitement.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just hear it in your voice. You can see it in your face. I mean, isn't it? Wouldn't you all say that is? I mean, you can just tell. It's just wow. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, fantastic, Amy. Well done.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, we'll jump over to Makushla. If Kush, you want to unmute yourself and share your update. Thank you for jumping on.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, great to be here, and I just love hearing those stories. Wonderful for Amy to get those results, and for Ian as well. So yeah, so very quickly, I'm a raving fan, so you know, probably a good person to talk to. I started on the age pill at the end of 2017, actually not long after Ros had started on it. You know, I maybe a bit like Amy, was a bit skeptical, had used a lot of products, trying to get well or keep myself well. And anyway, I saw that Ros had was experiencing some good results with it. So I went on it. I started off on the 6 a day, but not long after that, I think I'd heard a Tom Mauer speak about the benefits of doing a double dose, at least for a minimum period. So, and I've pretty much been on a double dose ever since. Unless it was a catastrophe, I would not be on a double dose. I think it's just got you know, massive benefits for me about just with energy, staying well. Like I'd noticed before I started taking the age pill, that just generally feeling aches and you know, I'm 52, so you know, they say that you sort of experience those sorts of things, but I thought this is ridiculous. Like I was very used to being an active, fit, that kind of thing. And so, but all of those things have completely diminished. I guess I feel like for me, the benefits of being on a double dose of age pill are that there've been more subtle things, and I've written them down. So if I'm looking to the side, it's not because I'm not paying attention. Yeah. So just to remind myself, so I'd had a lump in my groin, and after about 6 months of being on the double dose, I noticed that it just started to get smaller, and then it has completely disappeared. So to me, that I attribute that to having taken the age pill, because I tried various other things and they hadn't worked. So that was a significant thing. The other thing I've noticed is that my skin is generally just a lot clearer. So not that I'd had acne or anything like that. I just feel like you know, with age spots and that sort of thing, that has cleared up. And I particularly notice it on my arms, where being a Queenslander, and obviously we generally have a lot more sunshine here. I felt like the sunspots on my arm I have quite a few of them, but they are just gradually disappearing. I like and some of them have been quite big, like very noticeable. And I almost feel like it's almost like a veneer is sort of coming off. and it's almost like a glove, like it's spreading from my hands up my arms. So it's like my skin looks a lot younger on my hands now, and I can see the spots like up towards my elbow getting smaller as well. So I'll keep tracking that. The other things that I've noticed, just a general energy and cognitive function has definitely vastly improved. And I would say that a lot of the other things are probably just more subtle. But one thing I do want to say about the other products that I use, so I have found that each time, I chatted to Katie a couple of probably 6-8 weeks ago now, and I'd said like I'd had like a persistent cough, and I felt like it just wouldn't go away. So she suggested a couple of months on the Avenger. So I'm now halfway through my second bottle of the Avenger, and I was thinking the other day, like I don't have that cough anymore. Like it's
fantastic.
It's disappeared. So I feel, I'm sticking to the, it's 4 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon or evening. So I'm doing that consistently. It's definitely made a difference.
Fantastic.
The other product which I think is exceptional is the Stemolytic. So I feel like each time I integrate a new product, I almost feel like I go through a bit of a healing crisis. It's almost like symptoms get worse before they get better. I don't know if that's normal or not, but I do feel like it sort of brings everything. It brings the stuff out to, as your body is healing. And I remember a story right back at the beginning when I first went on the age pill. I don't know if it was from Kurt or from somebody else, how a lady had been she'd been on the age pill for a while, and the doctor had said, she said, oh, like I've got this hepatitis. And he said, I actually think it's been latent in you, or I don't know if that's the right medical term, but it had been in her for a long time, but taking the age pill had brought it out. And I feel very much that that's my experience on all of the nutritional products. And the other thing I wanted to mention is the night cream. Is it called the night cream? Yeah. So I've had, I feel like as I've gone rapid repair as I've gone through, and I remember seeing that wonderful story about that lady who had, I don't know if she'd had burns or, and it just cleared it up. So I was like, right, I'm going to get some of that, because I'd had, it would probably be eczema or psoriasis. I don't know. I didn't bother looking it up. I just can't be bothered. I don't know all the details, but just give me something to fix it. And anyway, so I thought I tried it, and I can tell you from the first time I tried, because I had it all over my neck, all over my, it was all around my scalp and that sort of thing. That's the other thing I have to mention. So I put that on, and I can tell you from the very first time I did that, it was just completely soothing. It just, and it's gone away. And I don't know whether, it's like just been a topical thing, but I actually just don't care. I'll just keep using the cream. And it's just, I found immediate relief from using that product. And of course now I have fewer lines, which is a bonus.
Yes.
But I also remember Kurt talking about and I remember Tom Mauer saying, when he started using the age pill, this is my last thing, I'll stop after this.
That's okay.
When he used the age pill, like a lot of skin, a lot of dried, flaky off his scalp. And I had that for ages. I probably had it for a couple of years, and I was thinking, like, is it ever going to go away? And I remember Kurt saying he'd had it for a short time and then it just stopped. And then it's exactly what has happened to me as well. Like, I had it for a long time. It was obviously just stuff coming out, and I haven't had an issue with it since. And all of the dried red skin on my scalp and everything has all gone away. So I'm just very thankful for the products, very, very grateful to be able to access them, and would recommend to anybody to at least have a go on the age pill, double dosing for 3 to 6 months, and see how you go. So.
Wow, another fantastic story. Wow. Katie, you brought some good testimonials onto this call tonight.
Yeah, fantastic.
Wow. All of you are just having some great stories to share. Thank you.
Okay, great. Well, we're on the half hour, but we've got Carmel who's been inundated with testimonials too from her team of customers and her group. And so, yes, Carmel, if you could unmute yourself and share your stories with us today.
I love all these stories. I really do. And I think after listening to Ian as well, like I'd not long ago had pneumonia and I was really sick for about 5 weeks, and we didn't have colloidal silver at that point. But after listening to you, I'm going to start taking some, putting it in a nebulizer as well for a little bit, just to hopefully, well, to hopefully help me not get it again. I mean, I won't, but, you know, just to, because lungs has been an issue for me. But Avenger was one of the first products that I actually became attracted to Sisel with, because all the ingredients in there were some of them that I had been taking anyway.
Individually.
I used to follow Medical Medium, and I had a supply of those individual ingredients. So when I saw Avenger, I thought, oh yes, I've got to get this. And it, like, who was it? Mukushna, I think the same with the lungs. I found it to be really, really good with helping to, you know, help with the cough. But the testimonials that I have, this is from a friend who is looking after her mother, doing the best she can to stop her mother from going into an aged care home for as long as possible. So I'm just going to read her testimonial, if that's okay. Yeah, she's got, this is my testimonial since being on the age pill. I'm on my 3rd bottle, taking extra pills a day due to my weight. I've noticed that I have more energy during the day, more clarity, and a feeling of wellness. I'm a keen gardener, so it gives more strength to stay out there a lot longer. Before taking the age pill, being 62 and having gone through menopause, I was always craving for sweets and having to have an afternoon nap every day. I don't get hungry anymore or tired. So now I'm going all day without having to rest. Plus my doctor is loving my glucose blood test. It's gone back to normal, and she said, whatever I'm doing, just keep doing it. And thank you, Carmel, for introducing me to Sisel Health Products.
Fantastic. So what a great story.
Yeah, so that's one. And another one I have from a friend who, she's a massage therapist actually, and she had problems with her hands.
Right.
So I forget how I started introducing it to her, but anyway, she started using it. So she says, I started using the age pill to help with chronic dermatitis on my hands. Previously, I had dermatitis for 8 years and tried a myriad of treatments. Some things would work only temporarily for a few days, and then it would all cycle back into severe inflammation, cracking and bleeding again until it eventually seemed to resolve itself. After 3 years of no dermatitis, the beginning signs began to reappear on my fingers. I tried going to a naturopathic-based chronic skin specialist and was given complex dietary restrictions and topical skin cream regime that after 4 weeks showed no sign of improving. Wow. I then started the age pill, and dermatitis started getting better within 2 weeks.
Wow.
And 12 months later, actually it was 6 months later, I have not had a flare-up.
Wow.
I know it is the thing making all the difference, because when I forget to take it, my skin tells me, and I take the pills and my skin returns to normal within a day.
Wow.
It is so good to have found something that actually works, and works simply, efficiently, and effectively.
Fantastic. Well, what a great
story. I get a little bit emotional reading these, because I just know how frustrating it is to go from therapist to therapist and product to product, not getting anywhere. And then it makes you flip into depression because you think, you know, you just can't get on top of it. Yes. So I just feel so happy when I find people who've gotten onto this.
Yeah,
it helps
fantastic.
them.
What a gift. Oh, so
Oh.
grateful.
Carmel, I remember when you first got started with Sisel, and you couldn't even really talk to people about it. You just were so
No.
clammed up, and all of a sudden now it's just it's like I said with
Oh.
Makushla and Amy and Ian,
Oh.
your excitement. They just you
Oh.
can feel it over here on the other side of the world. I can feel it.
Oh, well, I think when I started as well, I started taking it, full pain. I had a lot of pain that I couldn't get on top of. And I had that chronic cough that I'd had for at least 5 years going to different people, but the pain was getting worse and worse. And I was worried I was becoming addicted to painkillers. So, and anxiety and depression, all of those things were just so bad. And then when I finally got onto Sisel and got the help that I needed, it was just so good, so good. And I think within my first dose, I felt like, I just felt so good that I was finally going to start getting better.
Yeah, fantastic.
After years of searching, it was really good. And I've not stopped.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Wow. What a great lineup of stories, Dr. Kurt, today.
It was, from everything. Wow. We covered the whole thing, the whole realm.
Yeah. Well, that was awesome. So I want to say thank you to Ian and Amy and Kush and Carmel for jumping on today, taking the time out of your day and sharing your story. And it's just great to be able to share these stories with people because it really can make a big difference in someone's life as it has for you. And it's just wonderful to share the information because you never know who's going to hear it and how it can impact their life in a positive way. So just really grateful for everyone. So thank you for being part of it.
And if you're listening to the recording,
Thanks, Katie.
make sure and get back to the person that brought you here and got you the recording, and thank them for getting you the recording and sharing it, and make sure and share it with other people, because the whole thing is that I found a lot of people don't know how to share their story, and this might help just be that tool to do that.
Fantastic. Great.
All right.
All right. We'll leave
Thank
it
you,
there.
everyone.
Thank you, Kurt. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Katie. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You too. Bye.